Hello and welcome to the Motocross Network. In today's Moto News video, we have probably the most stories I've ever put in one single video. It's been a very busy news week for both our sport in America and the MXGP and in the World Supercross Championship. So lots of stories. Sorry for not doing more news videos this week, but I've been busy with a lot of stuff. I've had to do taxes for the magazine and have to ship out the magazine. Those finally came in, so I've been busy with all that stuff on top of working a full-time job. So there really just wasn't much time for me to do news videos throughout the week. Hopefully I can make up for you for that today for you guys. Normally I break down what we'll be looking at in today's video off the start, but since we have so many stories, it's too many to mention. I'll just throw up the display on screen listing all of the stories we'll be looking at today, and they'll be broken down into chapters on the bottom of the screen in the video, so you can just skip to which stories you want to hear or just watch right through the whole thing. It's up to you guys. Let's get right into it. Now, before I get into the news, like I mentioned, issue number 9 of our magazine, the Motocross Network magazine, is available now. We're shipping out all the Mag Pass subscribers. All your copies will be shipped out, and all pre-orders will be shipped out by the end of this week. You should have it within a week. And if you guys want one, head to the mxnetwork.com. Links in the description. You can buy the newest issue, issue number 9. There's issue number 8 is on there, issue number 7, all of the past issues, and the current issue is on there for sale. Some of them are sold out, but most of them, we do have a few copies left over. So if you guys want one, they're on sale on there. But issue number 9 is our biggest one yet, our best one yet. We have not only me writing in it, but a few other people, one of them being Johnny Hopper. You all know him. We also brought back the Moto Bikini Girl centerfolds. We even have crossword puzzles for kids. A lot of kids want to read magazines. They like seeing the physical pictures of their favorite guys. So we're really trying to revive the moto magazine industry. So go snag a copy and help us revive this industry, man. We love doing it, and we want to bring it back. So all the support is welcome. And, yeah, thank you guys who already bought one. All right, first story of the day, Kenny Roczen. He has been out since his gnarly crash back in Supercross when his suspension failed and the whoops, causing him to go flying over the handlebars. He ended up breaking his tibia, plateau, his foot, and a toe. A couple weeks back, he posted a video of him breaking doctor's orders, taking his first steps on his leg. He said he wasn't supposed to be, but he did. That led me to believe that he'd be out for a very long time. He'd probably miss all of motocross and just wait until World Supercross, as that's kind of his number one goal, is to go to defend the title over there. But while I was at the races last week, I was talking to people in the media tent in the paddock, and the rumor was that Kenny was back on the bike. At first, I kind of just laughed it off, like, there's no way he's already back on the bike. But then HEP Progressive Suzuki confirmed that Roczen will still be racing a few nationals this summer in an effort to get some more SMX points. Once they said that, I was like, oh, they aren't joking. He's already back and ready to go. So yesterday, Roczen took to socials and posted the first footage of him riding back, his first time back. I'll show you those clips real quick. Here's that. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy to see he's already back on the bike. It's pretty awesome. I'm not sure how he's feeling. He didn't really say. He just posted those clips. He said it was supposed to be just a entry-level day, just like getting some practice, some turns, nothing major, but he ended up going out there hitting some massive jumps. So he must be feeling good. But with that being said, I don't know when he'll be returning for Pro Motocross. They said he wanted to do a few rounds, so I'm assuming that means 3. I'm assuming that'll be later in the season because I doubt he's ready to go at this point, just getting back on the bike. But, yeah, it's crazy to see he's already back on the bike. I'm glad to see it. Pumped. Can't wait to see him lining up in outdoors. So let me know what you guys think of him already being back on the bike after such a major injury. Next story is a bit of a depressing one. Austin Forkner announced a couple days ago that he recently underwent a successful brain surgery to remove an arteriovenous malformation. I don't know, AVM, that's what they call it. Forkner had known of this issue, but the scans following his crash in Arlington revealed that the matters had gotten worse. He's had this for a few years now, but now that they're worse, he decided to get it removed. Last Monday, they removed the blood vessel cluster. Forkner said a full recovery is expected, but doctors have recommended at least 3 months before he returns to riding, which would rule him out of the rest of 2024, at least. All I can say is, man, oh man, this kid's bad luck is just never ending. He just keeps getting hit with stuff, man. Here's what Forkner had to say about it. He did a video online explaining the situation, so it's like 15 minutes long, so I'll just let you hear a few minutes of it to get the gist of it. Here's that.
Hey guys, so I'm gonna try to make this video short, but there's a lot of things that have happened in the past few months. Everybody's asking for an update. I wanted to wait till a certain point before I updated everybody, but that's now. So I'm fine from my crash in Dallas. Shoulder's good, back's good, head's good. Everything from the Dallas crash is good. But in that crash, they found what's called an AVM in my head, which I've known about that because it bled back in 2017. An AVM's essentially a cluster of blood vessels that are abnormal. They can cause strokes, they can cause aneurysms, they can cause stuff like that, which are not good. But back in 2017, when it initially bled, it was really, really small. I think it was mainly the crash that did it because it was gnarly. So they weren't really worried about it, and the percentage of something happening again increases the farther you get from the initial bleed, like the number of years. So I'll lay it out basically kind of how the doctor laid it out to me. Is right now, with the size of it, and because it's bled in the past, there's a 4% chance of it bleeding again and causing some sort of stroke or aneurysm or something. But that doesn't have to happen in a crash. That could happen when I'm just riding. If this thing were to decide to bleed or whatever, and then I crash and hit my head again on top of an already bleeding brain, that's when we don't want that. That's not good. That's essentially a life or death situation. So we've known about it. It's just a genetic thing. I was born with it. Some people will never have this problem. It's like not an uncommon thing. People have it. It's part of the reasons that people have strokes and aneurysms and stuff like that. It's just not knowing about it. And I was fortunate enough to get some scans done after Dallas, and we found out about it and found it, which we've known about it, but it's bigger now. Whether that's from crashing and concussions and stuff like that, lifestyle stuff, or if I sat behind a desk my whole life, this may have still been a problem. They don't know. Doesn't matter. Point is that it's big enough that it needs to be a problem, or that it's becoming a problem and it needs to be fixed. Just because the percentage, it stacks every year. So maybe back in 2017, I was only at a 2% chance of it bleeding again or something. But now it's been 7 years or whatever, and now it's at like a 4%. So let's say I'm between a 15 and 20% chance of this thing at any time, not just a crash, at any time deciding to bleed and in turn possibly causing a stroke or aneurysm or something like that. We don't want that. So last Monday, a week from today, I had brain surgery, a craniotomy or whatever they call it. They went through my head and they removed the AVM. Gnarly, right?
Yeah, all I can say is that's just insane. I'm happy he's fine after all that. Originally, I heard he was going to be getting back on the bike and hoped to return midway through the Pro Motocross series, but unfortunately, another roadblock got in his way. I'll throw up some footage on screen as I'm talking now from his surgery that his girlfriend posted. It's just gnarly to see all the stuff he's going through right now. But yeah, now that he can begin towards a full recovery, Forkner stated he's excited about racing in 2025, and we will know more about when he'll begin riding and when he intends on getting back training and all that, how his recovery is going. We'll know that soon, but for now, he will just take time to recover on the sidelines. All I can say is I'm wishing him the best, and I hope he can make a full recovery from this crazy 2024 season he's had. Hopefully, he'll come back stronger in 2025. It's been just an interesting year for him, but things are going in the right direction right now, so that's good. But yeah, good luck, Austin. All right, before we move on, this video is sponsored by Blood Lubricants. Blood is a premium off-road oil and lubricant company. They have everything from chain lube to their Clutch RX engine oil. This is their newest product. This helps save your clutch from wear and tear. And then finally, they've got Blood Bath Wash and Wax. They got a bunch of other stuff. I've got it over here in a box, but I'm not going to grab it. You get the gist. They got a lot of high-quality stuff, and don't just trust my word for it. Chris Kiefer tested and approved it as well, so It's good stuff. For a limited time, you can save 25% off site-wide all their products using my code TMN25. So go give them some love. They support what we do. So go support what they do. Head to bloodlubricants.com today. Links in the description. All right, next up, we're going to be looking at the defending world champion, Jorge Prado. Last weekend in Maggiora was just not great for him. He's been kind of on a downturn lately. He came into Maggiora with some confidence and was hoping to fight Gajser for the points lead after that race, but in Moto 1, they battled it out. Gajser got the best of him. In Moto 2, Prado attempted to do what he does best and get out front early, try to get a hole shot. He got a pretty good start running around top 3 after the first turn. Unfortunately for him, this time, a mistake happened, and it ended his day. Prado came around the first turn. I think he was running 3rd or 4th, right behind Gajser, and just before the second turn, the French rider Valentin Guillod fell in front of him, taking Prado out, and a bunch of other guys behind him ended up landing on him, making it worse. So here's that crash from multiple angles.
Incolpevole Blander ed incolpevole anche Jorge Prado.
Ride around the outside, tries to pull it back, but it's Gajser. Oh, we got riders down! Domino effects, wow! Haven't seen anything like that before. Oh, and he is hobbling away.
Not the luck Prado needed this end of this day, and when he came off the track, it didn't look good. We saw him limping back to his bike on track, but once he got back to his trailer, he had to have help even walking from the bike to the trailer. It looked really bad. I assumed this was the end of his season, but yeah, here's a clip of him limping to his trailer. As you can see there, it looked pretty bad. I was thinking possible ACL, MCL, something knee-related, injury-wise, but we got an update from him this week confirming that he's actually all right, nothing major, so that's good to hear. Here's what Jorge Prado had to say in a post-race interview.
We finished the GP of Maggiora, though not in the best way. It was a tough weekend for sure. On Saturday, it was pretty much all mud riding. During the qualifying race, I finished 6th, which was okay. I didn't want to take any risks in those conditions. Then on Sunday, the conditions were a little better and drier, but that meant the track was pretty much a single line. For the first moto, I got out of the gate quite well, but then in the 3rd corner, Gajser cross-rutted and came into me. He passed me there, and then we were battling pretty much for the whole moto. I caught up to him a little more at the end, and we were pretty close at the finish line. It was a good P2. During the second moto, I also had a very good start, but I went a bit wide into the second corner as I got off balance. The guy in front of me crashed, and though I tried to avoid him, I crashed as well.
From there, it was difficult to say. There were many riders involved.
I got a bit hurt, and the bike was damaged. I pulled off after a lap because I felt a little hurt, but everything seems fine. I just need to take it easy for a couple of days, and I should be okay to fight for the win in Indonesia.
I'm glad to see Jorge is fine. It would have been such a crappy way to end the championship battle. It's been a great year between him and Gajser. Hopefully this weekend off will benefit him, and he can come back strong in Indonesia. I got to say, he's really lucky. That could have been bad. It looked really bad. So to hear that he's fine, it's great news, and I'm pumped to see him line back up next weekend and battle with Gajser. It's been a great year. I'm just looking forward to some more battles here. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Next story of the day, one that kind of caught me off guard, and that is that Max Anstie, he split. They went separate ways with Firepower Honda early. And I guess they agreed. It was on good terms, so that was good to hear. But yeah, Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha have announced the signing of Max Anstie to a multi-year deal. We knew it was coming, but I didn't think it was going to come mid-season in Pro Motocross and just throw him out there. I was kind of expecting it to come next year, let him defend the World Supercross Championship, but I guess he didn't want to do that. So he will be lining up his debut on the team next weekend at Southwick in Pro Motocross. This deal comes just one day after the announcement that he departed from Firepower Honda. Last year had a successful year with them in both American Supercross and winning the World Supercross title. Like I said, it had been rumored for some time that he was going to be inking a deal with Star Yamaha in 2025, but again, it got pulled off sooner than we expected, so that was good to see. Anstie said in the press release, quote, "This marks a new chapter in my career and one that I'm motivated to take full advantage of. I've got unfinished business in the United States, especially in pro motocross, and I know that Monster Energy Star Racing will help me tick those boxes. From Southwick on, we'll start taking steps to understand the YZ250 in order to make a title run in 2025. I've never felt more ready." Now, this will be Anstie's second time with Star Racing after he raced for them back in 2010 in Pro Motocross and Monster Energy Supercross. The team is still shuffling things around for 2025, but they're excited to get ready with Max Anstie right away. Now, here's the clips of Anstie riding that Star Yamaha. First day on the bike at Southwick, him and Deegan were there training. I believe Bennick was there as well. Some of the Yamaha guys were down in Florida, some of them at Southwick, which was a little odd. But yeah, Anstie was at Southwick testing. Here's the first clips of him on that new bike. All I can say is I'm pumped. I can't wait to see him at Southwick next week. This is an incredible step in the right direction for Anstie's career. His revival has just been incredible to see, man. The first time I interviewed him was back when he first got on Twisted Tea Suzuki a few years ago when he came to the U.S. It's just cool to see him go from the USA to MXGP, back to the USA, from a satellite team to a factory team, from 450 to 250. It's just been awesome to see, and he's been successful. That's wicked cool to watch. We're all wishing you the best, Max, and can't wait to see what you got this summer. All right, before I move on, this video is sponsored by Sweet Life CBD. Now, we're all moto people here, and we know what comes with our sport, and that is never-ending aches and pains. CBD can be a great natural solution for this. Introducing Sweet Life CBD. They grow all of their hemp here in the USA, and all their products are THC-free, so you won't get popped on a drug test. All their products are third-party tested for purity, so you know it's all high-quality stuff. It's not that chintzy stuff you can find in the gas station. So if you want to get rid of those aching pains in a more natural way, head to GetSweetLife.com. Use my code TMN to get 20% off site-wide. Links in the description. Go support those guys. All right, next up, World Supercross has finally given us a schedule for 2024. It's set to span 4 rounds this year across 3 countries, Canada, Australia, and Abu Dhabi. Beginning in late October, World Supercross has largely been up in the air following delays in the calendar release. They had some issues with leadership there, switching around that stuff, CEOs and such. A lot of teams are actually fighting right now. Some are exiting. So I don't really know where that stands right now. They haven't said, but SX Global has maintained that a schedule was in the works, and they finally gave it to us. The schedule is set to first race will be set in Vancouver, Canada, at BC Place October 26th, before traveling to Perth for round 2 and 3, and on November 22nd or 23rd and 24th. Man, I can't read this today. It will conclude at Abu Dhabi in Etihad Arena in the UAE on December 4th, as they did last year. That is a Wednesday prior to the Formula One Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, so a lot of fans should be there. Hopefully the stadium gets packed. A total of 10 founding teams have been licensed this year, but widespread rumors suggest that at least 30% have abandoned the series. We don't know who that is yet, but defending World Supercross champion Ken Roczen was contracted to continue as part of PMG Suzuki, which is the AGP Suzuki team here. But as we said with the last story, Anstie will be out, so I'm not sure if Firepower Honda will remain in the series. We'll have to wait and see on that one. I've had so much hope for the WSX series over the years, but they just have so many problems so far, which is understandable in a way to try to bring Supercross, which is usually a single country thing. We have it in America. We had it in France, have it in Australia. They kind of stick in the same country, which is easier. To go all over the world is kind of hard to do, especially with people that aren't really in the industry. I mean, some of them are, but it's just a struggle to get this thing going. I hope it goes good. I want them to get their crap together and make this series a real deal. Hopefully this is a step in the right direction with new leadership and some changes. Again, it's only 4 races this year, but you got to start somewhere. And yeah, I'm just wishing them the best. And I'll be watching World Supercross. Hopefully this thing takes off and we start to see progress with them. All right, on to the next story. Antonio Cairoli, the wait is finally over. Cairoli has been with Ducati since they announced the bike a while ago. and he hasn't raced it yet. Well, finally, the 9-time world champion Tony Cairoli will race the Ducati Desmo 450 this weekend at the Santa Barbara circuit in Ponte a Agola, I think that's how you say it, in Pisa, Italy. That's the 4th round of the Italian Motocross Pro Prestige MX1 Championship. So this is going to be a great historical comeback for him. It's a huge step for Ducati. I'm sure the Italian fans will be pumped to see Cairoli there as well. It's the greatest Italian MXGP racer of all time, so for him to return to their national championship, I'm sure there'll be a big crowd there. I'm looking forward to see how he will fare on the bike, and as Lupino has already been pretty successful on it, so we know the bike's good. Hopefully Cairoli can show what this thing can do and get some wins on that bike. But yeah, that's all I got in the news. Here's a clip of Cairoli prepping for said Italian national. I personally think he's going to do great. I mean, obviously, he hasn't been training at full tilt like he had in years past when he was contending for the MXGP World Championship, but he's still obviously a wicked fit dude, wicked fast guy, so I'm sure he'll do good with him. I love the bike. Looks awesome, and I'm pumped to see what he's got this weekend. Let me know your thoughts on the bike and how Cairoli will fare this weekend in the comments down below. All right, next story of the day, we're going to look at an American who made the trip over the pond to Europe. That is Gavin Towers. Gavin Towers was a former Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha rider. He made the big move from the United States to MXGP a couple weeks back. He went over there to race the EMX 250 class on the VRT Yamaha team and immediately had success getting a 4th overall in the MXGP of Germany. He went 6-2 on the day, so the first moto he said he had some troubles with the start, but the second moto he got up there pretty early, made it all the way to 2nd place. That's incredible to see. The second race of his career, though, wasn't as good. He had some bad luck, crashes in qualifying, then he broke his chain in race 1. The team then decided to let him give MX2 a go this past weekend in Maggiora, Italy. For those of you who don't know, the MX 250 class is kind of like the AMA Moto Combine or the Supercross Futures class here in the U.S. It's an amateur championship that gives you the opportunity to kind of prove yourself and become a pro. Well, he must have impressed his team because they allowed him to move up this past weekend. It was his pro debut in the World Championship. Not what he wanted, but it was still a good learning experience for Towers. He described his MXGP experience and his first races in an interview with Racer X's Steve Mathis. Towers said, quote, "So far, Germany was really good. The first moto, there was just a lot of nerves and stuff built up, so just got through it and got a decent result. Then the second moto was really solid. Then going into Latvia, it's like you wanted to do good, but still just completely different track and completely different everything. Struggled a little bit, just crashed in qualifying and then broke my chain in the first moto, so a little bit of struggle. Weekend, then here we are in Italy. The track looks sick. Super pumped for this one. Also, it's really my first pro race. I did kind of have half a one in Ironman in 2022, but I made it like 10 minutes and my ACL was done. So now here we are. At the end of the weekend, Towers ended up 22-20 in the MX2 class in his pro debut this past weekend. Obviously not great. He noted in a socials post that this was due to poor starts and being involved in a first-turn pileup in one of the motos. Obviously not great, but looking on the bright side, he did earn a World Championship point in Moto 2. I know that's not great. He got 1 point, but still, to get a point in a World Championship is incredible, so it's a good start for him. Towers did say he intends on staying with the team for the remainder of 2024 at least. He will be racing the rest of the EMX 250 series and intends on giving the World Championship in the MX2 class another go in Arnhem, the MXGP of the Netherlands, which comes later this season. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously a little bit of a rough start for him, but overall it's cool to see him racing in the World Championship. I wish more Americans would do that. Yeah, I'm wishing him luck. Good luck, man. All right, on to a couple semi-injury, just crash stories. I just wanted to give you guys an update on this. We're going to look at a couple MX2 guys who had some bad crashes this past weekend in Maggiora. Those riders being Triumph's Mikkel Harup and Bike at Kawasaki's Jack Chambers. There isn't much to say about it. Not much of a story, but I just wanted to at least show you guys the crashes and give you an update on them. If you're a moto nerd like me, you watch every rider from first down to a 20th place guy. If that's you, then this is for you. We'll start with Harup. The Danish rider had a big get-off this weekend during the qualifying race after a rider crashed in front of him, causing him to run right into him, go down. As it was super muddy, he couldn't really stop. But yeah, here's that crash. Now, luckily, he walked away safe. That could have been really bad considering that he landed headfirst in the mud, kind of on an uphill. That could have caused some head or neck damage, but he assured us he is fine. In a social post, he said, quote, "Happy to walk away from that crash on Saturday and get some solid points on Sunday. Strong riding and an awesome job by my team to get me ready for the race on Sunday. Indonesia up next. We are excited." Next up, Jack Chambers, the American rider. He also crashed pretty hard this weekend. This time it could have been really, really bad. I mean, Harup's crash was bad. It could have had potential to be really bad, but Chambers, I don't know how he walked away from this. His bike blew up as he came up and over the tabletop at the top of that monstrous hill in Maggiora. It's just before the finish line, that huge downhill before the pit lane and the finish line. He was just lucky to walk away from this one. It was really bad. I'll show you the clip. Here's that.
Facilmente Lotto in questo caso rappresentando rappresenta la stessa posizione della driver con Guillod.
Like I said, luckily he was fine, but Chambers did give us an update via socials saying, quote, "Made it hard on myself this past weekend with some bad starts, and coming through the pack on a very one-line track wasn't easy. We will continue to work on the weaknesses and improve from there. Bummed to DNF Moto 2 with a crash due to engine failure. Super thankful to be healthy and ready for the British Championship Round 3 this coming weekend before heading off to Indonesia." I'm glad to see him walk away healthy. After that one, it's been a rough season for him thus far, but he is making progress slowly but surely, getting more comfortable on that team, on that Kawasaki in the World Championship. Things are different over there. It's got to be a culture shock for sure as well. So, yeah, we're happy to see Jack healthy and representing the USA and MX2. Good luck, man. Now we're going to switch our focus back to the United States for a minute. Justin Cooper, he had kind of a under-the-radar performance at High Point. It wasn't great. It wasn't horrible. It was just a middle-of-the-road kind of day, and obviously, after High Point, or Thunder Valley, his great performance there, people were kind of overlooking him in Thunder Valley, or in High... Man, I'm getting these mixed up. He had a great race in Thunder Valley, and people were overlooking his performance at High Point because he finished 5th overall. He obviously looked good that day at High Point. It's normally a track he struggles at, so still great performance with that considered. The Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing rider has landed inside the top 5 and 6 of the first 8 motos of the year and sits in a strong P4 in the championship heading into the first weekend off. High Point certainly didn't show the usual strong points of Cooper as he was 8th in combined qualifying on the day. His worst of the year thus far, but he rode strong 4-6 moto finishes to get good points on the day. Cooper said in a post-race interview with Moto Online, quote, "The day went well. I struggled a little bit in practice. It started out pretty wet, and we got some weather, so I rode a little bit timid in practice, but in the motos, it came around. I felt really good in the first moto, then I laid it down when I was in 3rd and ended up 4th in that one. In the second moto, I got shuffled around the first turn, so I was pretty far back, but I actually felt better in that moto. I was working on my way through the pack, and 6th was all I could really do in that one. Overall, I was just happy with where we left off. Usually, I'm not so good at this track, so I was happy to find a good flow. I tried to look for him after the race. I couldn't find him. He was kind of hiding, so I didn't get to talk to him. But considering he hated the track and didn't feel comfortable, I'd say 5th overall is a fantastic day. Coming off a 3-3 performance at Thunder Valley where he led much of both motos. High Point wasn't exactly a situation that Cooper saw great form, but as he continues to adapt and learn the 450 class in Pro Motocross, team manager Jeremy Coker said that he believes it's all part of the process and has high hopes for him, so that's good to hear. Now, I didn't look too hard into it, but lots of people online were stating that his Thunder Valley performance was a one-off lucky race. I don't believe that at all. A lot of riders were vocal about how they just didn't like the track set up at High Point this year. It was a little slippery because it did downpour the day before, so I was actually surprised at how good it turned out. Yeah, it was ruddy. Yeah, it was bumpy, but they really couldn't do much. I mean, they could try to push the mud off the track, and I saw them doing that a few times in between practice and between qualifying, and even in the motos later in the day. But yeah, he wasn't the only one not feeling it this weekend, so either way, his 450 rookie performance this year is not one to ignore. As I told you, he's had an incredible season. I don't know. He's just looking good in my opinion. I don't know why people are talking crap about him online, but yeah, I think there's a lot more to come from J. Coop, and I'm looking forward to seeing it, man. Good luck. All right, next up, Chance Hymas for the second straight round. Team Honda HRC's Chance Hymas landed on the podium as he put 4-3 moto scores together at High Point. With this result, Hymas is now second in the championship. He's got it all to himself. He established himself in that position, and he is now frontrunner in the title fight. That's pretty clear. Hymas is now just one of 2 riders who have finished inside the top 5 in every single moto this season, alongside the 250 championship leader Hayden Deegan. He has also now led more laps than anyone else this season, as he pushed his total to 55 laps, thanks to leading some more laps this weekend. Now, while not his true rookie season, last year he only made it 4 rounds before getting hurt, so this is kind of his true first full season. Hymas has only started 9 pro motocross races in his career thus far, and his rise into this position has just been incredible. It's crazy to watch. What he's doing is getting consistently good starts and hanging with the leaders every moto. He led much of the first moto at the second round in Hangtown, which was an eye-opener to a lot of people. But since then, he's found himself in that position in more motos than not. He's been up front pretty consistently. Hymas has credited this to turnaround in his health. He had some testing and some dietary changes. Those changes have totally reformed his fitness, which is clearly true. You can see him. He lasts every moto, doesn't really get tired, and mix that with his raw speed. Now, that's a recipe for success, and he's proved that. With all that stuff sorted, the biggest hurdle was then to prove that he was a part of the lead group. He won his first career moto at the third round of the series in Colorado and leapt into a tie for second place in the championship in the process. But doing it once is one thing. Establishing himself as a front runner is an entirely different thing. Hymas confirmed that he feels he's a top guy in an interview with Moto Online. He said, quote, "I definitely do feel like I'm one of the guys. I've got myself established as second in points right now. Got to find some speed and just be a little bit more smarter to get Hayden, but it's going to be tough. He's good, and especially with Ty coming up now, it's going to be hard. I'm still trying to figure it out, trying to get smarter, trying to get faster. I mean, everyone's doing the same thing, so it's going to be a battle all summer. But yeah, I'm just stoked to be in the position I am. It's just believing that I can run up front with these guys, and I feel like I'm finally starting to believe that I can. The work never stops. I'm just continuing to build and build each week and not giving up." Next up for the Idaho native is uncharted territory, though. His rookie season last year, he tore his ACL immediately following the High Point National and missed the rest of the year. That means that every round moving forward from this past weekend features tracks that Hymas has never competed on professionally, so that'll be new for him. He'll get his first real test next weekend in the deep sand of Southwick. The first 4 rounds have been more hard pack soil types, so Hymas is kind of familiar with that growing up in Idaho. But now he trains in Florida full-time with the Lawrence brothers, so I'm sure he's already adapted to the sand and the East Coast conditions. So we'll just have to see how he adapts to it, and I'm sure he's going to do good. As for right now, he's clearly established a strong base to make a push for the championship, but he's just got to continue doing as he's done so far, and I believe he can. But yeah, only time will tell if he can compete with Deegan for the championship, but so far he's created an incredible foundation for a great career and a great championship. Gotta love to see it, man. Chance has done great this year, but yeah, great start to the year. Can't wait to see what he's got for the rest of it. All right, next up, the Texas native Mitchell Oldenburg announced last night that he and his former team, Moto Concepts Honda, are going their separate ways effective immediately. Although Oldenburg didn't provide us with much context regarding this decision, and neither did the team, he did assure us that he still intends on racing the World Supercross Championship this fall with a separate team. What team that is, we don't know. As of right now, WSX confirmed that they have 10 teams, but rumor has it that a few of them have left World Supercross. They're waiting on financial compensation that they're owed from them, so we don't really know what team's in and out, like I mentioned earlier. We don't really know who is in the World Supercross Championship this year. We just have to wait and see on that. Anyway, Oldenburg announced that he and Moto Concepts Honda will be separating in a social post saying, quote, "The last 3 years of the whole Moto Concepts Honda team has truly been a blessing. Very thankful for my time with them and the friendships I've made in those 3 years. Special thank you to Mike and Sandy Genova, along with everyone from the Leisure Concepts for being such amazing people to work with. I have decided to go in a different direction for the 2024 World Supercross Series, and I'm excited to share the news with everyone when I am able to." 2024 was kind of a rough year in AMA, Monster Energy Supercross. He finished 15th in 250 West standings, but in 2023, he had an incredible year with Moto Concepts Honda, finishing 5th in standings, and in 2022, 4th in 250 East. So he was pretty successful with them. I was kind of surprised to see them split, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see where he ends up for World Supercross later this year. No matter where he ends up, I'm sure he's going to do good. He's a really consistent guy. He's just kind of just below that line of being a top guy. He's just right there. He is a genuinely fast rider. So I think he just needs a little push, and he can be a top contender. But yeah, no matter where he ends up, we're wishing him the best. Good luck, Mitch. All right, final story of the day to cap off this really long video. JWR Honda, if you're not familiar with them, they are a prominent team in the MXGP Motocross World Championship. They are thrilled to announce their debut in the AMA Pro Motocross Championship. This significant milestone will see the team and its rider, Elvin Ostlund, compete in 2 rounds in the United States. Elvin, who typically races under the number 161, will be riding with the number 290 for these events in America. The team will be competing on a factory edition Honda CRF 450. They will collaborate with the United States Honda HRC factory team. The 2 races are scheduled for June 29th at Southwick and July 6th at Redbud. Elvin Ostlund said in the press release, quote, "I've been following the AMA Pro Motocross since I was a kid, and it's been a lifelong dream to go racing stateside. Getting the opportunity to go over from Europe and race on these vastly different tracks will be a kind of new challenge, but certainly an exciting one." This will be the first time JWR Honda and Elvin Ostlund participate in the AMA Pro Motocross Series. This will mark a new chapter in their racing journey. The team views this as an excellent opportunity to showcase their sponsors on a global stage and gain substantial publicity, which is smart on their part. I have interviewed Elvin a few times in the past, and he's a really cool guy, so I'm pumped to see him come here and hopefully meet him in person. That'd be cool. But yeah, where do you guys think the Swede will finish in the U.S.? A lot of these guys come over here and have like immediate success, such as Harry Coulis last year, almost pulling hole shots at Dilla and Budds Creek. He was really good. So it wouldn't surprise me if Elvin could do the same thing. Let me know what you guys think about Ostlund coming to the U.S. Where do you think he'll finish? All right, that's all I got for today's video. It was quite a lengthy one today. Let me know what you guys think about all the news stories today. How do you feel about Austin Forkner's brain surgery? How about Kenny already being back on the bike? Let me know all of your thoughts on this stuff in the comments down below. Don't forget to go support our sponsors, Blood Lubricants and Sweet Life CBD, and make sure you go check out our magazine. Issue number 9 is available. Links in the description for all of that stuff. Again, thank you guys for watching today's Moto News video on the Motocross Network. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on Rumble, hit the follow button. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.